Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's Raw review and opinions video. I'm going to start with something controversial. I'm going to say I'm not worried about the Wyatt Sicks losing, okay? And the reason why I'm not worried is because I think we can bounce back, right? I think that we can go out and bring someone else into the group, or we can go to a darker place. Like, this is, you know, just part of the story, part of the journey. I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with the loss. But here's the controversial take. I think it happened way too easily. I think that it should have really took a lot to have put Uncle Howdy away. And I just, I suppose on reflection, I'm really surprised that it was Summit in the Eyes, finishing move, 1, 2, 3. I mean, I know they're human. And I know they're beatable, and I know they're not like supernatural superpowers, everything like that. But I really think that like Bo should have put up more resistance. And I do understand that people are concerned about that, right? I wasn't at the time. I was okay with the loss. But on reflection, thinking about it, that loss did come around really easily. There is another concern, and that would be the match quality. You lot scored the match good 88%, which is, you know, maybe due to the fact maybe it shouldn't be that surprising because the Wyatt Sicks lost. But even if they'd won, I don't think people would look at that match and say that it was an amazing match. I don't know that anyone would look at that match and say it was worthy of getting into the great range, even if the Wyatt Sicks had won. Rowan was awesome. He came in like the wrecking ball that he is. So he was awesome. But I look at like Gacy, I look at Loomis, and I'm just got a few concerns there because they're not big. They're not the powerhouses of the group, right? That's Rowan. They're not fast and agile, right? They're not high flyers, so they don't tick that box. So I'm sort of looking at them going, what do they bring? Like, what is it that they bring? I feel like there's a lot of work to be done there, actually. So Howdy, I think he is the leader. So he's absolutely fine. His hair looked better. Wasn't the heavy dreads, but there were like braids. That was okay, right? Maybe still a little bit too head and shoulders for a few people. But yeah, for me, I think the concern is I'm more concerned about the in-ring, and I'm more concerned about how easy it was to actually beat Uncle Howdy. You lot scored that match good 88%. Live against Dakota, I really like this. I would not have hated if this had got it into the great range. You gave it good 92%. I think that's a little low. I enjoyed that more than I think the community did. Lyra, Zelina, Ivy, good 92. It was scrappy. It was definitely off in places. I don't have a problem with that score. I like Lyra winning. I think there's going to be a good chunk of the community disappointed it wasn't Zelina. I would have been fine if it was Zelina, but I do like Lyra Valkyria. I've always liked Lyra, so I'm quite happy with her progressing. And then Rhea Raquel, I thought it was short, but what we got, I thought was really fun. You lot felt the same. You gave it a great range. You said it was great, 51%. I think score-wise for me, there was talking points here. In-ring could have been stronger. I think Wyatt Sicks should have been harder to beat. It makes it really hard. I mean, I was not down on this show. I always look for talking points. If we've got loads of talking points, then I feel like I've watched something worth watching. And when this show ended, at no point was I bored. At no point did I feel like I'd wasted my time. I felt like there was quite a few talking points. Obviously, we had matches added to Saturday night's main event or amended. As well as that, we had stories progressed. I felt like there was some really compelling sit-down interviews, like the one with CM Punk. I thought the New Day getting booed out the building was really fun. I enjoyed Live Against Dakota, as I said. I just felt like really for 2 hours, quite a steady stream of talking points and bits and bobs that I was able to take from the show. Even silly little things like the chair rocking before the Wyatt Sicks got to it. Or the fact that Bo Howdy was like talking to the chair, which, you know, has been translated as him talking to Bray. Or as well as that, I didn't notice it, but it was mentioned in Unseen about Rowan kissing the Bludgeon Brothers mask, Harper's Bludgeon Brothers mask. That, you know, these little things, or like Nikki with Scarlett, I just felt like there was a steady stream of little moments, little things like that were kind of dotted throughout the show that I just enjoyed and that were like talking points. But there are things in here that I think do let the show down as well. Just gauging where the community was, it seemed like a lot of you was really down on the show, actually, not feeling as great about it. So I'm in the 6s. I'm gonna go 6-5, right? I was in the 6s, I just couldn't quite figure out where in the 6s, so I'll settle on 6-5. So those are my thoughts. Obviously, full steam to Saturday night's main event for the main roster. We do have SmackDown on Friday, but we do have Saturday night's main event this weekend, and I am very excited for that. Very excited. But let's get to your comments, shall we, and see what you lot had to say. So Dane said, TNT Sports, we're going to Netflix. We'll make you look good for one night. Hey, TNT Sports, we're going to Netflix. We'll make you look good for one night. I don't know what that means. Are we saying that this was not a great show? Is that what we're saying? There was a few technical difficulties here in the UK. I don't know if you had that in America, but there was a few times where, like, when Seth was coming out, the image was frozen. And actually, that happened a couple of times throughout the show. So, yeah, technical difficulties. Trenton said 7. It was not bad. El Patata is in Christmas spirit, loving that. Wyatt Sicks Final Testament changed his hair. It's all right. Nothing we haven't seen already. Attire is still too simple, especially without tattoos. Cross wins, but did he hit more than one move in the match? He if someone was to tell me that he was injured, I would believe it, because he kind of really sat a lot of it out, just coming in at the very end. Yeah. He gets one more week to brag about this win, showing us the truth. 4v4, it almost felt like they won the feud, sadly. Dakota versus Liv. Dakota loses, not needed. 3v3 backstage last week, Sonya said, we're not gonna touch you. 3v1 attack, classic Pure Fusion Collective. US tournament was good, but last week was better. I agree with that. New Day, cool. They get good reactions and they can still play Tekken on up, up, down, down. Main event, did not care, except for EO rating, 3.5 out of 10. Whoa. Hasbo said, I thought it was a good Raw. I do miss the 3-hour Raws. Not long until we get onto Netflix. Billy says, I'm happy my man Carrion won and Rhea winning, but I'm not happy about my buds Zelina losing and Dakota losing. Hopefully Dakota wins the IC title. She really does deserve it. Been doing a movement for Dakota since 2022 SummerSlam. So a night of ups and downs for Billy. WWE Ethan said, these are my full thoughts. Days tonight for Raw. I was fuming. With the starting match, with how the Wyatt Sicks lose after having their first match in ages, and it's annoying how short it was in time. I do think Finn deserves the title, and he needs it, but I don't think he'll win it. Liv's character work is incredibly good, and she's such a good champ. Sami versus Drew has been a fine build so far, and it should be a good match, but Drew as a heel just honestly doesn't do it for me. I'm not a big fan. So happy for Lyra, for her to get the win to progress in the IC tournament. The heel day gets the Dom heat. Main event Rhea against Raquel was really fun. So much going on. It was overbooked, but in a great way. Bad start, good ending. Overall, 7 out of 10, said WWE Ethan. Raymond said, Daze, I thought Raw was really good, actually. Every match was good. I enjoyed them a lot. Rhea Raquel was fire. Then the Wyatts against Final Testament was outstanding match. Wasn't happy with Zelina losing, but I'll rate it 9 out of 10. Shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you, Raymond. Sahan said that's twice that Cross has got better of Howdy and the Six in the ring. Looks to me like the Wyatts are buried. Shake my heads. Nah, they're not buried. They're not buried. They will bounce back from this. As we said, losing battles is fine. It's just, make sure you don't lose the war. And, I don't know where we go from here. That's an interesting conversation. Do we do Howdy Cross one-on-one? Howdy Miz one-on-one? Do we do Nikki Scarlett? Do we do Loomis and Gacy? I mean, I like Gacy and Loomis as a tag team, to be honest. I think that might be how we can use them. Like, put them, get them out there, get them in the tag division. Howdy is the leader. Rowan is the wrecking ball. And then I'd use Gacy and Loomis as the tag team. So, do we do them against AOP? Or do we do another big, 4-on-4? Do we add to the Wyatt Sicks now? There's lots of things we can do. I'm not sure what they will do, but I'm definitely looking for the Wyatt Sicks to feature more regular in 2025, get a bit of momentum going, and hopefully make it harder for them to be beaten. I actually don't mind them losing, as I said at the start. It's all right. It's all right to lose battles. I just wish they'd put up a bit more of a fight. Kapata said, a good night of wrestling. I am glad to see the Wyatt Sicks, and I'm excited for the Wyatts to wake up. I saw Bo talking to the chair. Why? Does he call for help from a brother, Braun, or a brother's spirit, the Fiend? I would love to see Carrion and Bo on the mic more. It would be pure cinema. Jimmy said, not a bad show. Wyatt's against Final Testament was fine. Keeps building the story. Best moment was the Seth Sami promo. 6.5 for me. Jazza said, does this majorly hurt the Wyatt Sicks taking their first L 6 months later since their debut in June? If that's a question, I would say no. I don't think it majorly hurts them. I do think not seeing them very often has hurt them. And as I've said, in the video, I do wonder if how easy it was to beat them is a concern. The Fiend lost, and people still love the Fiend. The Fiend lost to Goldberg. They still loved him after. The Fiend, lost to Seth inside that Hell in a Cell. They still loved the Fiend after. So the Fiend took losses. Bray took losses. Bray took heartbreaking losses. Bray would lose at flipping WrestleMania 33, wouldn't he? And at 37, people still love Bray after. So for me, this isn't an issue, them losing, but the manner of the loss, I can't get past that. Joey Mama said, I love the main event, and the New Day heat was on a different level. Different level. Let's go here. See if I can get this on full screen. Wyatt Sicks need more momentum after that loss. It doesn't help WWE have been lightly fumbling them with screen time, and not to mention social media. Sure, you can blame Raw being 2 hours, but what excuses are there when it comes to social media? When the Wyatt Sicks first made their presence, we had QR codes on both shows and would hack the WWE social media pages. Now all we get is little to no screen time, and literally nothing more like what we were originally getting before the massacre. The feud feels very one-sided, and they're not winning currently. I'll never lose hope of the Wyatt Sicks, but I do fear others will, which would obviously not be good. Hopefully we get 3-hour Raws back. We can properly use them, build them into that terrifying force that we love. Other than that, I give Raw 7.6. P.S. Sorry for the rant. I love rants. Never have to apologise for a good rant here. They are welcome. Wrestling fans since day one said, for me, the match of the night was Rhea against Raquel. Raw was a 6. Not bad, but not good. Daze, where do we see the New Day story going? I think Big E will come back and eventually join them as a heel faction like he did back in the day. I wouldn't do that, only because the crowd really want Big E. Like, he is, super over anyway, but he is now mega over. The crowd would chant him for him. If he comes out at the Rumble, that place is going to go, y'all want to go big, if that happens, the building might take off, right? Just from the absolute excitement, the euphoria of the crowd. What a moment that would be. So I don't know that I can pin my hopes on that. Whether he comes back with a tag team, whether that was it for him, I don't know. For me, I'm more focused on what does it mean for Big E. Because with the New Day, they're just going to be heels. They'll be a heel tag team. They'll, go after the tag belts, take on babyface teams, blah, 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 blah. But what does it mean for Big E? You heard those Big E chants, and I think they're going to continue. Next week, when the New Day come on screen, I think you'll hear Big E chants. Have they done this? Obviously, they've done it because of the 10-year anniversary. But have they also done it because we're not that far from the Rumble, The Rumble is literally like, the 1st of Feb? We're probably about 6 weeks away. So, I don't know, man. I'm really thinking, what does this mean for Big E? But in regards to the New Day, it just means that they're heel team. There'll be some babyface team that will want to stand up to them on behalf of Big E. And, we can just do stuff like that. But will we get the return of Big E at the Rumble? Carl said it was okay. It would have been better if it wasn't so predictable and it had a ton of ads 15 seconds after matches started. Love that Final Testament and Miz beat the Riddler wannabe and his puppets. The Drew video was fire. 100% on Team Drew and Seth. Both speaking nothing but facts against Punk and Sami, says Carl. Johnny said, I'm okay with the Wyatts losing, but that match did not get any time at all. We waited so long for the Wyatts to get some actual screen time, and this is the shiz that we got. Drew, Punk, Seth promos were great. Love Rhea, Raquel. Should have got more time. 6 out of 10. Brady said, I'm fine with the ending of Wyatt Sicks' Final Testament match. It allows the story to go even darker. The aggressiveness of the Wyatt Sicks are going to go from a 3 to a 10. And do you know what? That's probably fair. That's probably really well worded. We probably are at a 3 for the aggressiveness, and we probably do need to turn it up to a 10. To quote Bray Wyatt, Paul Ellering better run. Paul interfering means they might need help. Emmanuel said, too much talk, not enough wrestling. Main event was boring, ended way too fast. Same with the Wyatt match. Ended too fast part anyway. Oh, the ended too fast part anyway. Just way too many promos and video packages. It's at the bottom of my list of good shows, but congrats to Lyra. Should have been Zelina Vega, though. Mackenzie said 7, really great show, amazing main event, love that the New Day were getting the Dom treatment with the booking. Do you reckon that Michael Cole will be doing commentary on Saturday with Jesse the Body? I would think so. He tends to do PLEs, so I would think so. Back in the day it was Vince and Jesse, or Gorilla and Jesse. It was, Jesse wasn't the lead, so we need a lead, so I've got to think it'll be Michael Cole. Yeah. Norma said the show was okay, but the Rhea Raquel match was an 8. Alex said it was an alright Raw. Raquel needed to win way more than Rhea did. Rhea fans can now stop crying that Liv can't win clean after she beat Dakota Kai clean. Happy that Final Testament won, since they needed that win. New Day getting nuclear heat. Fire, fire, fire. 7 out of 10. TJF said 6 out of 10. Chair rocking was amazing. Better than SmackDown, as their storylines are dragging bad. Bloodline story is boring now, and Wyatt Testament story has just begun. The best storytellers in the business follow the Bray train. Sinister File said a very good show. Made a post about my thoughts on the Wyatt's Final Testament match, if you can take a look. Rollins, Punk... Let's make this bigger. Rollins, Punk slowly builds along with Sami, Drew. Hints of a WrestleMania main event for Rollins, Punk. Absolutely love the heat New Day are getting. Love Gunther speaking facts. Absolutely over anything Judgment Day anymore. Feels it's time we move on to something fresh and new. And Rhea Ripley dominating as ever and hopefully putting an end to this feud with Morgan soon. Hints are saying Raw on Netflix. Let's hope. Hints are saying Raw on Netflix. Let's hope. I don't know what that means. We know Raw goes to Netflix in January, of course. All in all, good show. Thoughts, my friends. I've shared mine all throughout the video. I think we're towards the end of wrapping this baby up. I think we've hit that 20-minute mark. By the Bonfire said, I'm generously giving it a 4 out of 10 this week. Everything felt poorly paced, poorly planned and rushed. The saga of the poor 2-hour Raws has continued for me. Hopefully once Raw starts on Netflix in January, these rushed and poorly paced shows will be over with. Alberto said Raw tonight felt a bit slow. I'm worried for the Wyatt Sicks because they are becoming an afterthought. Match of the night was the main event. Alberto gives it a 4. John Elite said, didn't expect Wyatt Sicks to lose tonight. Nice to see Ellering back. New Day got Dom level heel heat. War Raiders taking the tag titles next week. That is the match. Main event was okay. Yeah, War Raiders will take on Finn and JD McDonough for the tag titles next week. It was also announced Bron Breakker will take on Ludwig for the IC title next week. Dean Parker said Raw was good. Really like the Rhea main event match. I love the ending to Raw. New Day segment was interesting. I wanted Wyatt Sicks to win, but I understand they can't win all the time. Love the stream. Good work. Next live stream I'll be in is Saturday. Dean, see you on Saturday, my friend. Let's get another couple, shall we? Chris said Raw was meh, 5 out of 10. I hate that they finally have the Wyatt Sicks on TV just to have them lose by shenanigans. The New Day got the Dom treatment. Match of the night, mommy. AXT figure said great Raw is heading in the right direction. Real Wrestling fan said good. Got to be honest, that was disappointing to me. Rhea looked strong, but the Wyatt Sicks match was not for me. They lost. They looked weak. I mean, Paul bleeping Ellering outsmarted them. To me, Nikki is the only character that still matches their debut. 5 out of 10. Panthera said, do we find Rhea Raquel's fight to be a little too little? You guys are unbearable. Did you find Rhea and Raquel's fight to be too little? You guys are unbearable. I don't know what this means. I thought that it just started a little late. I think that a lot of other segments overran. I thought what they did in it for the time they had was really good. And actually the community scored it the highest rated match on the show. So, yeah, I think the community enjoyed it by and large. But would it have been nice if it was a little longer? Had a little bit more in it? Had a bit more breathing room? I think it started with 15 minutes to go. And then it had a commercial break in there as well. And of course, all the shenanigans at the end with EO coming down and Liv getting involved and all of that. So there was a lot to fit in. So I just think it needed a bit more breathing room. But yeah, you lot enjoyed it. Nishi said, it was a very good episode. Raquel versus Rhea was excellent. The women's triple threat match was awesome. And so was Liv against Dakota. Carrion winning tonight was the right call. Keeps the feud open and makes space for Bo to come back smarter. And we'll end with this one and we'll look at the scores. 5 out of 10. Lack of Usos. Maybe storyline slowly coming for OG stand with CM Punk, Drew, Seth waiting to add members. All matches except Rhea's match okay. Bad match for Wyatt Sicks. Hopefully they get a bigger push. Seth and Punk began cinema. Can't wait for OG on Raw. There we go. Let's flip this over and go over to the scores. Yeah, you lot not feeling it. 111 votes. Good okay is in the lead, 56%. This is going to be good, 97%. So you lot really, really not feeling that. It's been a while since we had a good show. Great. Got to go all the way back a couple of weeks ago for Raw. That finished on good 98%. At the moment, this one is on good 97%. So, yeah, this one just a touch below the Raw we had a few weeks ago. So there we go. That's what you lot thought. Really appreciate the feedback. Apologies if we didn't get to your comment, but I like to try and stick around the 20-minute mark. We're hitting 25, but obviously quite a lot to talk about. So there we go. We are back later with Wrestling Escape Pod and, of course, NXT Watch Along. And we'll be doing a review and opinions video for that after NXT. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.